Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Dictionary Finalist album reviews. You can find our band reviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. If you haven't noticed, there's been a bit of a slowdown in terms of album reviews. I got a full-time job, so I've been kind of taking it easy on those and been more selective with what I choose. But this coming Sunday or the following Sunday, I'll be starting a new series where I'm going to be going over stuff that I missed because Sundays are my day off now, and I would have a little bit more free time to have more of a conversation. It would be in a live setting. I would just be going live on YouTube and just talking about what I thought about for this week in terms of albums and like what I thought about those records in general. So hopefully you guys will like that. And I know it is a bit of a change of a pace, but maybe you guys might be interested in that. But tonight we're going to be talking about Andreas's newest records, Heroes, Villains, and All That Jazz.
I want your brain, plain and simple. Let me eat your brains and treat your body like a temple. Girl, you got so much to offer. Why I feel I got a bento. Heard you go to school way up north. Can't we?
Many of you know Andreas is very familiar with the channel. I've done 3 interviews with him, and I did an album review of his last record, Strange Memories, on this Nervous Night, which is still one of my favorite records. I think this dude is really killing it out here. He is just grinding out. He's actually going to be on tour with Thomas Iraq, which is insane, and he's also going to be on tour with Hard, which is another awesome band as well. But I had to ask Andreas about getting this record a little bit early, so much love to Andreas as per usual. There will be a link to pre-order his record in the description. Please go show him some love. Go like his page, go subscribe to his YouTube channel, and be on the lookout for more stuff in the future. But I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons on the record, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is Andrespacito. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. I'm not Spanish, so I can't do that shit. But anyway, getting back to the track, I like just hearing Andres' vocals kind of soloed out. I don't really feel like you get to hear that too often, and if you do, I wouldn't say that it's not good, but I like that he is just really forward with his vocals, and that he kind of wants to have that as be that thing that just determines what a great album can be. And so I feel like he has an awesome voice, and this to me just kind of, you know, set the record off in the right way, and I really appreciated that. It has a similar vibe to his previous record, Strange Memories, on this Nervous Night, and I also plays a lot into his influences like Chon and DGD. You can hear a lot of that sort of more technical, like post-hardcore and like math rocky sort of vibes. The drumming is also really cool on this track. I'm not sure if it was if they got someone else to do it. I'm pretty sure it was his producer Alan, he's a fantastic drummer, and if you don't know Alan, he actually is the touring drummer for Hail the Sun. So if you ever get the chance to see them live, you get to see Alan and the man behind Andreas as well, which is really cool. The bridge is probably the most interesting part of the song. I just love that it has that sort of jazzy, almost salsa-y vibe to it, which is kind of almost a common occurrence throughout this entire record. I feel like there's just a nice blend of different genres throughout the entire record that really make each song unique and interesting to listen to. Even the singles were so different in the way that they are, and there's some really cool, interesting tracks that I'm excited for people to listen to, because I feel like this one is just kind of like that melting pot of a record. So we're going to move into track number 2, which is Lucille 2, and this one is also one of my favorites. Also, if I didn't mention, the first track is one of my favorites as well. But getting back to Lucille 2, this is one of my favorites. Again, keeping with that sort of same theming. It has a lot of similar vibes to his previous record, but this one has a bit of a twist to it. I feel like Andreas throws some sick rap verses into the track, bringing out more of those sort of Drake vibes. I think that obviously, I have spoken to him many times. Drake is obviously a big influence on his band and his music, and you can definitely hear it in a track like this, which is totally cool. Instrumentally, I feel like it channels more of that sort of math rock vibe to it. It's a little bit more finger picky. It's just a little bit more jazzy and just more interesting to listen to, which I always appreciate. I like just the transition between his sort of rap term of phrase in terms of just the way he does his vocal lines, as well as sort of the jazz stuff and just how fluid he kind of mixes those two genres together. And I almost think that he does it in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's forced. And I feel like that is one of the things that I love about what he does is just that he's able to just kind of blend those genres in a really unique and cool way. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is one of the singles, Romp Hymns and Mimosas. This one's one of the most recent ones, and I have to say that after listening to the record many times, I can tell you that this one is one of the more interesting ones, and I feel like a lot of people, even when he released it, I feel like didn't expect this one. It has almost that 20s sort of style music, which is really cool. But I feel like this one has grown on me. I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a really cool track. I like the sort of jazz, influence, heavy influence, big band influence. But it just didn't get to me as much as like previous work that he's done. But each time that I get around to it, I feel like it's really something that I've grown to love. It really caters to a lot of the sort of jazz and big band influences that I had mentioned previously. And it's definitely one of the odder tracks off the record. I think that for people who think that he's not innovating or any of that sort of nature, I feel like I would definitely relate him to this track and other tracks off the record, because I feel like they are just so different and so unique, and I think it is really cool the way that he's able to kind of jump from something where it's more like happy, more like rap based, to something that's just more 20s and like almost jazzy, sort of softer vibes to that track. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Saloon. This one is a great track, one of my favorites. It has an awesome groove to it. The bass really takes a lot of the lead role in this track, and solidifies the groove along with sort of the rhythmic patterns of the drums. But I feel like it really takes a precedence in this track more specifically. I think it has a really great infectious quality to it. Every time I get around to this song on the record, I'm always like, oh shit, this one's one of my favorites. I love it. It's just got a little bit of a touch of funk to it, which is really awesome. And the song definitely doesn't have anything like out of the ordinary, something fancy. It's not like Romp Hymns and Mimosas, but I think that it's just so well arranged, it's so unique, and I think that just the infectiousness really takes this song to that next level, and I always love listening to this one. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is Zombie. This was one of the first singles, if not the first singles, that he had released in terms of the album coming out, things of that nature. But it's one of my favorites, and I think that each time that I listen to it, it gets better and better, and I just love that sort of pop, just really strong pop influence to it and electronic vibes. It feels like, to me, kind of like a spiritual successor to La Habra on his last record, which has that sort of electronic following to it. It has a lot more of that sort of top 40s vibe, that pop qualities that you hear in music on today's radio, which is really cool. But I like that he makes it his own. It doesn't sound like, oh, he's just trying to cop out. I think that he really put his own Andreas spin on it, which is totally cool, and I respect that immensely. I think the production and the layering on the song is really impeccable. I think that Alan and my buddy Anthony did a phenomenal job on this one. It just works out, and I think just the sounds that they were able to get and put together into the song really make this song unique. So we're moving to track number 6, which is Spanish Mami. Let me just tell you, this track is un fuego. Love this one so much. I've been waiting for him to include more of his Spanish influences into his songs. There are little hints on the previous record, but I feel like this one he kind of went all in. It does have that sort of top 40s like trap rap to it, and it's so infectious. I can't tell you how much I love this song, how much I've been bumping this in and around my area. If it wasn't this cold out, I probably had the windows down and blasting this crap out my window, which is totally cool. I love that he included Spanish lyrics in this one, and I'm not just saying like few words, I'm saying like literal verses of Spanish. It's so cool. I love that he brings that vibe to this track. The salsa vibes are very prevalent in this one as well. It brings a great uniqueness and memorability to the song itself, and it's easily one of my favorites in terms of just instrumentally and vocally. I think he really kind of kills it and takes it to the next level, and it just has that just originality to it that I feel like I have to absolutely stand by. His vocals and his sort of rapping lines were just on point. I love his falsetto in this track. It just hits you right in that emotive heart, you know what I mean? I just love this track so much, and I hope he plays it live because it would probably go off. So we're gonna move in the track number 7, which is Self-Aware. This is another single that he released, and he's actually re-releasing it for this record. There's a few more different things that he changed up on this record version of the song as opposed to the single version. I feel like this one has more of a refinement to it. There's a little bit more of a cleverness to it, which I appreciate. I think that the way that it was arranged originally was really good, but I feel like this one you can definitely hear more of the polished bits to it. Instrumentally, still love this track so much. Vocally, I think he does a really great job as well. But I thought the coolest portion of this track that I thought was the most interesting, and I thought it was really cool to the fans that he has, is that he included a live portion of his show in Houston in one of the songs in the bridge, and I thought that was really cool, and I love that he shows love to his fans, not myself included, but I think he does a phenomenal job of kind of roping in that sort of family aesthetic to this track, and it really kind of makes that song unique, and I think it's really cool. So we're going to move it into track number 8, which is Reeks of Suburban Legend. This one is a short but sweet track, but I think it makes you focus, at least me personally, makes me focus more of the content and delivery of his vocals and his rap lines, as well as I feel like it focuses more on the lyricism of the track. I think that while it being on the shorter side, I think it's about 1 minute and 25 seconds, it's really short and to this point, and I think that it's, you can hear more of the emotiveness of the songs and just the way that he lyrically is going for the next couple songs, which is really cool. Instrumentally, I think it's really cool, but I think it kind of fades in comparison to the meaning and the lyricism behind the track. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Boys in the Van. This one has a really interesting dark undertone. I think they used a lot of cool effects to this track that I wouldn't have expected him to use at all. I had heard this earlier in the year, and I was genuinely surprised that this was something that he wrote. Not that I don't feel like he was capable of writing it, I just feel like it was just kind of a unique, like, out of left field sort of choice. But I think it has some really great mellow vibes to it. I think that it really shows that he's expanding, and it's trying to do something different. I think upon the first couple listens of this song, it was almost actually hard for me to believe that it was Andreas doing this track. It has some really good insight to just how it is as being a musician and being in a band in general, and just being away from people that you love, and it's really unique, and I like his perspective on it. I think this is probably his most personal lyrics to date. He can definitely quote me on that if he wants. I don't know if that's the case. I personally feel like it's his most personal lyrics. I like that this one has a uniqueness and just a coolness to the track that, again, I think that this one focuses more on the storytelling aspect of the song rather than the instrumentals backing it. So we're going to move into track number 10, which is Poetry. This one is one of my favorite tracks. I think it is up there with Spanish Mami. I think that these two are by far the best tracks, followed by Andrespacito and Lucille too. I think those 4 tracks are by far my favorites off the record. But getting back to Poetry, this one is also a bit different. I think he experimented a lot with this one as well, and trying different options and different phrasings, different vocal lines, different sort of rap parts, and I think it is the best iteration of the entire record and the songs that are on it. I think it almost gives me that sort of Childish Gambino vibe to it, which again is not a bad thing. I love me some Childish Gambino, and I think that he really kind of inflects and voices his voice and lyricism in the similar way that Childish Gambino would do it. I just love the delivery of it. I think it's really awesome. The instrumentals have this sort of ethereal quality to it, which is really unique, and I think that it allows the vocals and the sort of rap lines to kind of stand out more and take up more of the song, which is a little bit obvious, as I pointed out, but I think is something to know. I think that this song has everything that you would have expected from this record into one song. It has some really great singing parts, it has some awesome rap parts, and it has some really cool, unique, and interesting instrumentals, and I think it is a great way to close off the record. So, some pros and cons that I have about it. I'm going to get the one con out of the way. I think that some of the songs feel a little bit out there. I feel like the last two more specifically, or the last three, are probably the most, I guess, odd. And then if you want to add Rom Pims and Mimosas, I feel like those tracks kind of seem the most out there, and I don't think it's in a bad way. I think that the way that Andres and just Island kind of went into the studio, I think that it was just really thought out, and I think that those songs, while they are a little bit out of left field, I feel like they really play well into his wheelhouse, and you can definitely hear that it is his stuff. While I do think Boys in the Van and Poetry are by far the most left of the songs, I still think they have that sort of Andres quality to them. So some pros and cons. Super creative. I'd say more specifically the last couple tracks are probably the most unique tracks off the record. Same with Rompins and Mimosas. As much as I didn't like it as much now and it's a growing track, I think it is by far one of the most creative tracks that he's written. I think there's a uniqueness to this record that separates it from his first one, Strange Memories on This Nervous Night, and if you haven't checked that out, please go give that a listen to because it's awesome. I think it's a great improvement. I think that he's allowing himself to do different things. He's allowing himself to experiment, and I think it really shows a lot in this record. And I think if you don't go into it with an open mind, you might not like this record, but if you really kind of try to focus and think about it and think that he was trying to experiment and do better, I think you'll really find a lot of good things on this record that you'll come to love. So my overall rating for Andreas is Heroes, Villains, and all that jazz. I'm going to be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. I definitely think it's a record you should go check out. Andreas is the homie, and I always got to show homies some love. So please go check out his record. It comes out this Friday. It's going to be on Bandcamp. Go pre-order it. You'll get a signed copy from him, and tell him your boy sent him. I can't wait for you guys to hear this one. It's really unique. Let me know in the comments what you think about the singles. Also, let me know when the record comes out what your favorite tracks are. Would really like to know. ASAP Rocky. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up. It goes a long way. We're going to have plenty of more stuff. While it might not be all at once, it's going to be coming out eventually. And I thank you guys so much for your patience and sticking around with the channel. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.